that has to be mentioned. Anyway, I'll fix that when I do my read-through edit. Drive me absolutely insane. Agent Sky. What I want to do, so it's gonna have the main character here, which I can't call mine, that I did based on the Healer Witch. Hello, welcome back to my desk. I was about to start a writing session and then I thought, why not start a blog as well? I'm starting my new job next week. It's currently Tuesday for me and I am so nervous, but I thought I will film something just so that I'm not worrying about that next week when I start the new job and all that, and I don't know the routine or anything. If you've never seen me before, hi, I'm KJ, nice to meet you. I'm an aspiring fantasy author. I'm currently working on a cozy fantasy that I'm trying to get ready for a competition. The competition is called Revpit. I'll put the details below in case you want to check it out. It's a free competition and I am currently on 52,000 words. Well, 52,614 words on draft 2. Last week was a bit of a write-off, I'm not gonna lie. I wrote on Monday and then I wrote on Sunday because I went to my in-person writing group. But the rest of the week I didn't. I was in my luteal phase. I was feeling very anxious and very down, and I was just not wanting to write. Well, I wanted to write, but I was not in the headspace for it. And I was just reading and knitting and scrolling on my phone a bit too much on YouTube shorts because I don't have Instagram or TikTok, so that's where I get my doom scrolling. I will try to get as much writing done as I can so that the first 2 weeks of the new job I'm not like overwhelmed or trying to rush things. Sorry, I'm a bit of a mess. I went to the post office and then I went to my GP to pick up a form and it was so stuffy. I just had to put my hair up because it was too much. I was too warm. But yeah, let's start, shall we? Oh, do you want to know one of my new obsessions? I'll probably talk about this on one of the Everything by Writing videos. I'm currently filming one. I'm just filming some things here and there and it won't come out until later on. I've recently rediscovered Pokemon cards because of course I needed another hobby to take all my money, you know. My brother and I used to collect quite a few things when we were younger. I was especially like plushies and stickers and cards and this like they were like dogs and cat figurines that were like felted outside. And then there was another one that I chose. Is it Little Pets or something? I can't remember the name, but it was like little pets with huge heads and they kind of bubble. Because I was doom scrolling on shorts, YouTube shorts, I ended up getting these videos by Bearded Dad Cards. He's a Pokemon card vendor in the US, and his kindness and his community's kindness has had me and has me sobbing every time. I mean, I'm gonna blame it on my period. It was just so heartwarming, and of course that made me go into a bit of a rabbit hole, and now I think I want to collect Pokemon cards at some point. The thing is, I don't really care about the value. I don't care about like reselling it or that stuff. Like, I like it because I love the art and I loved Pokemon growing up. I did say I didn't like it because it was at that time where, you know, people were getting bullied for liking this type of things. I just went down the route of like, oh no, I don't like it. I just watch it because my brother likes it. You know what I mean? I used to love it, and I love the art, and it's just so cozy. And I think I would just be the type of person to just collect the cards that I find pretty and the cards of Pokemons that I find cute. Some prices that I'm just like, this is just pretty cardboard. Like, what are we doing? Seriously. But anyway, I think I'm just stalling now. Let's just start writing. Let me know down in the comments. What are you working on? And are you gonna participate in Revpit? It is a wonderful, wonderful competition. You should definitely check it out because it's the editors. I don't know who's gonna be in the editor panel this year because it hasn't been announced yet. Jenny Chappell, for example, she's one of the editors that I think comes back every year, and she is just so wonderful. And the feedback that they all give is so valuable. And just for that, you should definitely check it out because it's worth it. But anyway, let's just see where am I in this story. Oh, I'm still working on the market scene. I have changed some stuff. So I was writing some things from scratch, and a bit of a it's kind of like the same scene but different. So let's do that. A couple of hours later, I wrote for a bit, but then I had it in my head and I needed to work on my query. I really struggle to explain what my writing is about. I am so sorry for the seagulls. They're going absolutely crazy today for no reason. But yeah, I really struggle with query letters and making my stories sound appealing. And I did a draft one, so I completed that goal for February, and I sent that to my friend Raquel, who she is so lovely. I am so grateful. I really cannot put into words how grateful I am um, for her and her friendship, honestly. And the other day, she shocked me, and based on my draft one, she kind of rewrote it in a way that is so much better just from what she remembered from draft one. Mind, she read it a couple of months ago, so I'm like, how do you remember all of that? I am just so grateful. So I was looking at that. However, what she wrote sounded more like a summary than a query, so I've kind of merged both, rearranged some things, and tried to put it a bit more concise because I I hear that a query letter should be less than 400 words. And I was going through my notes from when I was looking into query letters for the Healer Witch and all that. So I really wanted to keep this under 400 words with the author blurb and all that included. So, I mean, it's currently at 365. So maybe that's a bit too close. I'm gonna see what Raquel thinks of it. Still haven't found a second comp, but I'll leave that for now. And I'll see if maybe some other people from the writing group can have a look at it and maybe give me some feedback. This query letter is going to be the one that I sent to Revpit, so I know that between that and when I start querying this book, it will change. but it is a good start, I think. I don't know. This is just so difficult. Also, comps drive me absolutely insane. It's just not my thing. One thing that I learned when I was doing the career letter for the Healer Witch is that if you have a comp, it is really good practice to say what your book is similar, like what exactly is it that comp is similar to your book, as in like maybe it's the magical system, maybe it's the character arc, maybe it's a certain element, like I don't know, like a magical library, I don't know. If you mention those, it's better than just saying, oh, it's, one of the comps is this book, because then the agent knows what to expect in terms of similarities to that book, instead of just assuming, oh, it'll be exactly like this book in everything, like the pacing and the world building and whatever else. You know what I mean? Am I explaining myself? Probably not. But yeah, I do have one. I think I think the vibes are really similar to the Grimoire Grammar School PTA. I read that book uh, in October or November. No, August. My. And it was so good. But in terms of like, it's the coziness and the soft magic system and the chaos, the chaos, the chaotic whimsy. It's very similar to that. So I think that'll be one of the comps. I just don't know about the other one. One that I saw in Waterstones the other day. What's it called? It's the what's it called? It's the I took a picture of it when I was in Waterstones, so I'll put it here. And I'm gonna butcher the pronunciation, but I think it's the Witcherlys, the Wicker List. I'm sorry, by Annalise Avery. I literally just looked at the picture. Um, I am so sorry. I have the cover in my head and I know the way it's written, but the pronunciation, I am so tempted to say it in the Spanish way, which would be like the Witcherlies or something, the Witcher Lays. I don't know. This lovely, lovely book. Um, I think in terms of like a coming of age, being thrown into the adult world and dealing with a type of magic that is so different from those around you. I think those elements of that book really, really fit my one. So I think that'll be the other comp, but I need to read it first. I think I'll comp it for now, just based on what I know of the blurb and all that, because it really, really fits the character premise, arc. I don't know. But I will be reading that soon. I do have a stack of cozy, witchy fantasy to read, so I might find another comp there. I think I'll keep it to 2 for now. But yeah, that's where we're at. I'm gonna send this to Raquel, and then I'm gonna read one of her short stories that she sent me so I can give her feedback. So I think that's gonna be my evening. Good afternoon. It is the next day. How are you? I have been writing a bit today, but I had to go to get a blood test done this morning, just a general routine one. So I've been really, really slow because I didn't start the day writing, if that makes sense. Last night I ended up working on my pitch for an agent's guide for this project a tiny bit, which is still a work in progress. I'm not gonna show it just yet, just because it's a draft. So, however, when I was doing that, I got the idea of drawing an illustration for it myself. I couldn't find anything that fit the vibes that I want to go for, that I wasn't sure if it was AI or not. And obviously generative AI is banned here, okay? Absolutely not. Stay away from it. I no, no, no. I have very strong opinions about it. I have this sketchbook that my father-in-law gifted me, so I've been using this. I started using this when I was conceptualizing the Healer Witch, and I found so many of my old, like, I did a map and some of my old notes on where things were and stuff, and I had such a nice time last night just going down memory lane. I really, really miss the world of the Healer Witch. I love that world so much, but yeah, maybe we'll come back to it at some point in a different project, or if I want to work on that again at some point. I'm not currently ready to work on that again because I did 6 drafts of that one and it's just, yeah. Do you want to see the map? I've changed so many of the names and locations of things. I don't know, I think it might stay. I can't remember what I did, but I haven't inked this one yet. But it's the map of Solerneo kingdom, where the first book is set in. It's one of the 5 kingdoms. It's just such good memories. Anyway, you're probably not gonna be able to see it, but that's the agent's guide that I want to do. So it's gonna have my main character here, and then her cave is gonna kind of flow like water to here, and then here in this corner I want to have Acher. So I did a little sketch of him, and now I've taken a picture because I quite like how this turned out. So I think I'm gonna try and replicate it by tracing the outline in Clip Studio. And then I did a little feather, and just to try and see how I would want it to look, because I think I want feathers and stuff to go all over as well. And then there's like some circles and stuff that are gonna be like glowing, as if it was like fireflies type of illustration, but it's gonna signify the fairies that appear in the book. So hopefully I can pull it off. And then I did that little sketch just for fun. I might turn that into an illustration at some point, but for now I'm gonna focus on the agent's guide later. Look at this! Oh, I'm so happy! Whoop, whoop. I forgot what I was gonna say. I am going to take a break now. I reached the end of that chapter and we're at 55,000 words, so I think it's a really good place to leave it and have a break, and then I can go and edit that chapter later. I finished writing one scene, then I wrote another one, and then I was able to reuse the third one from draft 1, so I really need to edit that one. However, I'm gonna do at least I was gonna say I'm gonna do the illustration, but at least do the sketch and then see how much I get done. But I thought that would be a fun little break. I don't think I've ever shown any of my illustrations here. I actually always have one card on my desk. I designed my own oracle deck based on a goddess that I love very much and is very dear to me. And I got them printed. So I tend to shuffle one per week and just put it on my desk. I've got some others that I've done on screen in case you're interested and curious. But yeah, I have this as my wallpaper. That's one of mine that I did based on the Healer Witch. Kind of. Yeah, we'll see how this turns out, shall we? Good morning. I started the day by filling in my reading journal because I finally finished Witched. Yay! As a true bookworm, I stayed up until 2 a.m. I just book. It was delightful. It was so lovely and so cozy. There were some things that I would have done differently. Of course, that always happens. There were also some moments that I found really cheesy and I did cringe a little, but I feel like that adds to the charm of it, if that makes any sense. There's a particular scene that that scene alone, 5 stars. It had me crying. It had me like my heart just, I just couldn't take it. That was a 5 stars. I really loved the characters. Everything that I predicted was true, which made me feel very powerful. I was like, yeah, right, Rain. But I love when I can predict things in books or when something happens in a way that is different to what I think. I just find it very fun to have theories. I love the characters. I found Belle so relatable. And I think I said that her struggles are basically just a different flavor of what I struggle with. So I was rooting for her the whole time. It is so lovely. So lovely. I don't think I can compete for Project Clouds, however, but that was just delightful. Now I do have a stack of books. So the contenders are The Honey Witch, The Very Secret Society of Irregular Witches, The Baby Dragon Cafe, and this one is in Spanish. This is one of my favorite books, series of books ever. I think the English translation is The Alchemist, and then it's the series name is The Secrets of the Immortal Nicholas Flamel. It's by Michael Scott. This series came to me at a time where I really needed an escape when I was younger, and it took me so many years to find all of the books because obviously I was living in Spain. That's where I grew up, that's where I'm from, and between obviously the time that it takes to write a book and then the time that it gets to publishing and then the time that it gets to get translated, took us a long time to get all of the books. And I had them at my mom's house, but this Christmas when she came back, she brought me 2 of them. She actually brought me the first one and the fourth one, I think. But I have been thinking about rereading it because this book is something that has always inspired me so much. And it's actually what got me into thinking about writing a story. Each of these books, it doesn't have like number 1 or anything, but it has a stamp, and that's something that I really wanted to do for the Healer Witch series as well. Let me show you the other book. They're so battered. I've had them for so long. But yeah, that's the stamp of the first one. That's the stamp from the 5th the fifth one. This is the fifth book. But you can see here, like that's the first one, second, third, fourth, fifth, right? So that's how you know which book it is. And I just thought that was so fun and so unique. But yeah, I've been wanting to reread this. Oh my god, I put okay, let me I put the dates that I read this in. 2013. Started the 31st of August 2013 and I finished the 2nd of September 2013. My ways of just devouring books has not changed. Yeah. Anyway, I'm just rambling. This book means a lot to me and I've been really wanting to reread it. But I am in search of a comp and I can't comp this because it's... Can I? No, it's too old. I can't. It really annoys me that comps have to be published in the last 5 years. So someone said that it has to be within the last 3 years, and I'm like, do you realize how tight a time frame that is? Anyway, comps are the vein of my existence. Anyway, there's that one which I can't comp. I think it's in between these two. We'll see. I can ignore it for now and think about it later and just get to writing a bit. Oops. Morning, how are we? I cannot remember where I left it yesterday. It's Friday now, and Friday the 13th actually. What did I do yesterday? I think I had a little rant about Pokemon collecting cards. Like, seriously, are Pokemon collectors okay? Are we okay? Yesterday was mainly editing in terms of writing because I was able... Those scenes were quite important in terms of the plot, so I was able to keep them. I just needed to tweak some things that happen, some things that get discussed. I also got rid of one scene and kind of merged two things together, and I'm just realizing how big that's where my arm is, right? This jumper is huge. Anyway, I needed to be cozy today. I think that scene works a lot better now. What happens in between, it's a bit just redundant, I think. It was just like a bonding, a fun moment with her friend group and stuff. Like, to bring, the cozy type of scenes that you expect on a cozy book. The next scene, however, I think is going to be brand new. And I'm very excited. I think it's going to be an important scene in terms of character development. So I'm really looking forward to writing that. Word count is the easiest way to track progress, to be honest, for these videos. Just to show you where I'm at. I have been thinking of what scenes I can delete or which ones I don't really need, especially from the beginning when she's at the coven. I think there may be a better way to show and say what her reality was in less words. In terms of word count, however, I'm apparently, because I didn't notice, I'm at 63,210 words. What on earth? What on earth? That's awesome. That's great. It's mainly because I was able to reuse those scenes and just change wording and make it sound better, like, you know, not chompy or redundant. I think I need to change that person's name. No, 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 I don't need to. Do I need to? I caught one of her family members' names that gets mentioned. And then he said, this aunt and my cousins. And I was like, I feel like this has been mentioned before. And I was just looking at the family tree that I have. That has been mentioned. Anyway, I'll fix that when I do my read through edit. But I think it's fine for now. I am second guessing myself a lot. And I think it's because I'm planning on querying this one and sending it to Revpit. And I did that with the Healer Witch as well. And with the Healer Witch, I had so much hope. I was so naive. I was so new. I didn't know the things that I know now. Like, don't get me wrong, I did a really good job with the Healer Witch for it being my first book. And I had better readers give me feedback, and draft 4 and 6 were really, really good. Draft 5 was good, but not as significant. You know what I mean? Draft 4 had a lot of changes based on feedback that I got that made it so much better and more realistic, in my opinion. And obviously, draft 6 is the last one that I did. And because that failed, I mean, I only sent 38 queries, right? So I could have gotten to the 100, but from 38 queries, I only got one partial. And with the whole job hunting situation, I'm just not in a good emotional state to go through more heartache with that book, because that book means so much to me. I just don't want to ruin it for myself, because I know it's a good book. I know it's a good story. I've had multiple people read it and like it, and that's what's important to me. One of my writer friends from my group, actually, he was curious about my writing, because obviously I'm one of the hosts and he's now one of the hosts as well. And obviously I talk a lot and try to help people a lot, and we discuss writing so much, and plot devices and prose and just anything really. So he was curious, so I sent it to him, and we had a little feedback session last Sunday, which was so lovely. And one of the things that he said that was so important to me was that he loved the two main characters. He was like, they're really fleshed out. He said so many lovely things about it. It's not his type of book. He was like, you were way too nice to the characters. He wants fire. He wants blood and brimstone. Brimstone? Is it fire and brimstone? Fire and brimstone is the same, isn't it? I don't know. Whatever that expression is. And I was like, well, yeah, it's supposed to be kind of cozy, right? Because that's just how my writing goes. And he still liked it. He loved some of the world building that I also love, and I'm so glad that he picked on it. And I was like, oh, does it remind you of anything? And he was like, no, actually. And then he went, oh, no, it did. It reminded me of House Moving Castle. And that touches my heart so much, because that's my favorite Ghibli movie. And it just, yeah, I just get so much joy from people enjoying the characters and the world that I created, especially for the Healer Witch. I mean, this one too, don't get me wrong, but the Healer Witch is, it just means so much to me. And I love that world so much. So I know that it's not banned. It's just, I don't think it's for the market right now. And I mentioned that in the January wrap up. I just don't think I'm prepared for that one to be my debut. I'm just gaslighting myself, because I am very sad that it didn't do well in the trenches. But with this one, I think it has a lot more chances to do well in the trenches. That said, I am very, very insecure about it. So I'm second guessing myself so much. Poor Raquel, I'm gonna drive her nuts because, yeah, I'm just really, really second guessing everything. I am kind of glad that I'm not planning on querying this until the autumn, until October, and it's just February now. But the idea of like sending it to Revpit is, yeah, makes me nervous. I felt nervous last year as well, but when I'm feeling this way, I know that I just have to send it and I just have to work on it because otherwise I just don't do it, right? Like I have to push through this insecurity and do a little bit of exposure therapy because that's just a bit the way my brain works, and that's part of it. It is a good thing that I have therapy, well, hypnotherapy later because I really need it. It's been kind of rough. Up here, it's been kind of rough. Such a weird time, but I'm making so much progress on this draft, and I think on a plot level, I'm really fixing it. I'm really fixing the issues that I had in draft one. And on a line level itself, draft one is probably some of the best writing I've done yet, which is so surprising for our first draft. For our first draft, let me be clear. For our first draft, it has some of the best one-liners that I've seen myself write, and I don't know. I think it can be something quite special. Hey, hey, hey! Happy Saturday! That reminded me of it's his song Icy, I think it is.
Hey, hey, hey! Yo.
Hi, sorry. Happy Saturday. Yesterday ended up being a bit of an emotional day, so I didn't film anything else. I had my last meeting with my manager of 3.5 years yesterday because I'm starting the new job on Monday. I got a bit emotional and I was crying a lot. And then I also had my hypnotherapy session, and I was talking about everything that has been going on and stuff. So it was, yeah. However, it was a really, really good writing day. I reached 65,000 words. It was mainly edited, um, but I did have to rewrite quite a few scenes, but I would count it more as editing because it wasn't completely from scratch. Like some dialogue and descriptions were good, they were fitting. I was also doing a bit of like rearranging of scenes, like move things around. I feel like a mastermind, like I need a board with like all the red threads connecting things. Anyway, been writing this morning as well. I'm at 67,000 words now. I'm currently, no, that's a lie. I wrote a new scene. Now I'm rewriting one from draft one. So I'm making a pretty big rewrite on that one actually. But I woke up, so I went to sleep with the new scene in my head, and I was like, I have no idea how this conversation is gonna go. Like I was just thinking about what needed to be discussed and how that conversation would like end and stuff. And I woke up this morning with the idea in my head, with like the scene in my head. So I was like, I need to just put it on paper. Paper. I was like, I just need to type it out so that I don't forget. Because I like that. I like the way it's come out. So I'm gonna see if I can reach to the 70,000, because the scenes that come now are, I think, are gonna pretty much stay the same from draft one. It's quite interesting, like the middle, the important scenes for the plot are not bad. In like, I have been fixing the inconsistencies and the way we get to those scenes, but the ones that are really important for the plot have been pretty much staying the same, which is really good. And I know that when I do the read through and line edits for this draft, it's gonna change quite a bit in terms of like wording and whatever, but the base that I have, I'm pretty happy with, which is a very weird experience. But I think I'm gonna write for a bit more and then see if I can reach 70k, because I'm only 3,000 words away from it, and that would put me very ahead of myself and my deadline of Revpit. I do need to do a summary of the book, which I hate, and it's not going to be a 2-day thing, but at least in terms of the draft and the manuscript, at least that's done, and then I can focus on doing the other materials that I need to send with Revpit. Yeah, it's good. It's a really good feeling. I'm feeling great.
Oceanus, eldest of the Titans, embodied the endless waters that encircled the earth. His immense and winding rivers quietly nourishing every corner of the world. Hyperion was the brilliant Titan of heavenly light, illuminating existence with the sun's warmth, the moon's glow, and the gentle radiance of the dawn. Coeus, guardian of celestial wisdom, quietly watched over the mysteries of stars and constellations, whose wisdom would guide the very fabric of justice. Nemazi, keeper of memory, quietly ensuring that tales and knowledge would survive. Tethys, Oceanus' companion, who nurtured countless freshwater springs and rivers. Theia, whose gentle brilliance.
It's like an hour or two late, and somehow I was able to just transfer over 3 chapters, which amazing. I am going to just edit and make sure that they're updated based on the changes that I've made so far, but I think I'm gonna leave this blog here just because I've reached 75,000 words and I have a bit of a headache and a lot of chores and stuff that I need to do today in preparation of starting my new job this week. So I hope you enjoyed this video where we made a lot of progress, surprisingly. And I achieved my 2 of my February goals of reaching 60k and 70k words on draft 2, which is blows my mind. The next one, hopefully we'll be able to finish this draft, which is very exciting, but we'll see. And I hope you'll come along as I venture into a new 9 to 5, lots of life changes, and try to get this book ready for Revpit and then querying in the autumn. Thank you so much for being here. I hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye! Have a good day!